what we figured out is that Texas should have flagged for someone. When somebody has a rap sheet this
You're referring to the case I brought up in 2015, the gentleman that shot someone. And
had what did he have?
He had 5 felony convictions and, 5 deportations, 7 felonies.
Right. So 7 felonies should tell you, don't let, forget where he's from. 7 felonies, you should not be back on the street.
Period.
But what tends to happen, I think, is jurisdictions say, well, let somebody else deal with it. It wasn't San Francisco's fault. My point was, had someone said
in Texas where he was on probation.
7 felonies. Yeah. It's like when you see on the news, they say this person had 25 DUIs.
Yeah.
It's like, wait.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to get. You're not supposed to be able to get 25 DUIs.
Yeah. But I think the larger issue that I want to say is, yes, that was a horrible case. That's something that shouldn't have happened. But if you look at the statistics, by and large, people that are coming from other countries are not those people. They by and large commit less crimes than people that are homeborn. And so to legislate based on fear, to legislate based on that one example is wrong. That is not what our Constitution
is. What you call anecdotal. I'm not talking about the wall and blocking out people that come in to commit crimes. I'm saying if you're committing a crime and you're here, whether you're legal or undocumented, you need to be punished.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can't come here and
agree on that.
But well, we do, but there's some intricacy to how they actually execute this.
Well, you have to talk to Texas.
Do you believe something? I'm curious though. Do you find these sanctuary cities to be constitutional, in your opinion? Do you find
because
that
I think there's a separation between states and the federal government. If the federal government wants to do its job and have ICE agents go into these cities and and arrest people, then that's one thing. But if you're asking local authorities to put on a federal ICE hat and then start arresting people, that makes me nervous because a lot of times our local authorities racially profile. A lot of times our local authorities don't know how to do their jobs, and I certainly don't want to put that extra hat on them.
I don't think you should deputize. You shouldn't deputize the local authorities, but I do agree. I do believe when they go through the system at the local level and they've been flagged for multiple offenses, that just giving a phone call, hey, we've got this guy, and detain the person.
Yeah, that's just communication. That's not them. That's just communicating.
And they're asking for more than that.
They are.
That's
what we're saying.
Yeah. What you're saying is there should be a way to say, okay, here are the people that are creating the issue. But as we all know, sometimes people get overzealous, which we've seen with some of the arrests that have happened. So what I want people to feel comfortable when they come here, that they're going to work their way, because we don't have a lot of the same issues that other people have. And I think people are working their butts off. These federal authorities, the local authorities are working their butts off to keep our various cities safe. And I don't think that this helps. And also the rhetoric from the new guy doesn't help either. No. And stop saying you're going to go to the Supreme Court. What do you don't own them.
Well, that's
you don't own the Supreme Court.
Now that Mitch McConnell has jumped over all the laws and rules of the Supreme Court, and we got Gorsuch in there, they do own it.
No, they do not own it.
Gorsuch is very well balanced, and I think oftentimes you find that someone comes in. No, but oftentimes you find that there are assumptions made about how the Supreme Court is going to rule. We saw this with Obamacare. We saw this with Roberts. We've seen this in the past where the assumption is made that because they're put in by a Republican, they're going to rule in a way that pleases a Republican president.
It's not just
or
that he's a
vice
Republican,
versa.
it's
That
his
doesn't
record.
always happen.
It's his record.
They are supposed to look at the Constitution. That's what they are supposed to do if they're doing their job.
And if they're doing their job, we will continue to see things like this where people say, in the bigger picture, this is not going to work for us as a nation. So you have to figure out how to do this.
They're guardians of the Constitution. And now,
if they're doing their job.
Well, this judge, I mean, I hope people will go and read this opinion. It is so well written. It is so
and he's not
logical.
The guy is not a Mexican like the last one, so Trump can't say, oh, he's Mexican.
No, but
this guy is not.
He says it's unconstitutional.
And not because he favors one above the other, but because he feels it will throw such disarray into cities that we should not be placing that kind of burden on any city. And that's a reasonable discussion to have. So,
And you certainly...
There you are. What?
I love this stuff.
She loves this. We'll be right back.